welcome to this special edition of the Boob Tube Buddies podcast. I don't know why it's special. It's episode 2.
I'm here.
I'm here. Featuring our discussion of AMC's Better Call Saul, episode 2 of the 3rd season, entitled Witness. A couple of quick bits of information. You can check out all of our content at www.boobtubebuddies.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Reddit, or email us at boobtubebuddies@gmail.com to get in on the conversation. Let's just go and hop into it. My name is Foxman, and I'm joined by the Davis and Maine to my Hamlin, and McGill. What up, Giblets?
I'd much rather be Davis and Maine.
You would be?
Of course.
I mean, but don't you feel like Hamlin, and McGill's got a little more prestige to it?
Do I look like a prestigious guy? Prestigious guy?
No, you don't look like a prestigious guy. Off to a good start. Okay, so real quick before we hop into everything, I just want to point out we have Feud, Betty and Joan going with the Boob Tube Buddies right now, and later this week I am starting up. Oh, there's the train right on fucking cue. So we have Fargo season 3 starting up, which I will also be hosting with Nathan, who you will know from the Legion podcast and multiple other ones here. So anyway, we just finished watching episode 2. What did you think, buddy?
Well, it was a love-hate little relationship because, I mean, of course, it started off the slow, melodic pace that I wasn't thrilled about.
Sure.
But by the end, of course, I was on my seat, fucking giddy, half of it with Gus and everything. And then,
yeah, there were cool reveals with the Gus thing, and then we have the guy who I believe was Mike's old assistant.
The black SUV?
I know for a fact that he's the one who gets... well, I'm going to say spoiler alert, but who the fuck would be listening to this and has not seen Breaking Bad? But he's the guy who gets killed down, and then they have to, melt his body down in the basement thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's that guy?
That's that guy.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I started realizing it as it went on. But he's the guy who
fucked up and got the wrong plastic.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, scale of 1 to 10, what'd you think about the episode?
I'd give it a 7.5 that swooped up to an 8.5 at the end.
Okay, I'd give it a 7.5, and it was just a 7.5 overall for me.
I mean, everything was coming together, and it just made me really excited. I mean, I'm fucking stoked to see the next one, so that's why it got a little raise.
Me too, yes. And from the scenes for next week, it looks like shit gets ramped up a fucking notch or two.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay. So let's get into the first segment of the night. It's something that everybody should be familiar with by this point, but if you're joining us for the first time, 140 characters or less are used to summarize the entire episode. It's a little segment that we like to call Summon It Up in a Tweet.
Oh yeah, we're summon it up, so summon it up. Summon it up, oh yeah, we're summon it up. Oh yeah, we're summon it up, so summon it up. Summon it up and up.
Tweet.
All right, Jibby-Doos, why don't you go ahead and fire yours off first?
You're such a gentleman. Fuck Chuck. That guy sucks. Jimmy is now in a ton of muck. Mike's plan gets suddenly stuck. Gus is introduced, so we're all in luck. Hashtag fuck Chuck.
All right, that is pretty good, and I'm going to let you know ahead of time, I also used fuck Chuck in mine.
Attaboy.
Yeah, exactly, so we'll hashtag that up. But, me. Chilling outside Los Pollos Hermanos. Like too cool, little Brian Boitanos. Uh-oh, Jimmy and Mike got played. Fuck Chuck, and oh shit, Mike got made. And that is Summon It Up in a Tweet.
Summon it up in a tweet. Summon it up.
Very nice, buddy. I have to say, you're really stepping up your game on the summing up with the tweets.
When have I ever not stepped up my game?
I mean, The Walking Dead, I feel like I got the better of you each and every time.
Fucking carried you.
Are you serious?
In Summon It Up in a Tweet.
Dude, no.
Sometimes I do Summon It Up in a song. I do Summon It Up in a bit.
No.
I am by far the most versatile and prolific Summon It Up in a Tweeter at Boob Tube Buddies. No offense to anybody else here.
And by far the most humble.
Yeah, I'm the best at being humble, for sure. Okay, so let's get into the episode. Enough with the muckety muck. It starts off with Chuckity Chuck, and he's in his house, and he's making himself some tea. He's got the guy that we find out later is the private investigator. I think his name's David. Does that sound right?
Possibly. It was only said once, and I'm sure it doesn't matter.
By Howard Hamlin at the end. Is that it? Howard Hamlin?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
is that his
weird
fucking
sounding.
name?
I've never
Howard
heard it
Hamlin?
together.
the fuck?
That's funny.
It's fucking Donald Duck? That is a terrible name.
Howard Hamlin.
Okay, so it starts off with them there. The guy's playing solitaire. We get a... I wonder if that's a true story about the...
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you know? From your time dealing...
when I dealt in the casino.
That's cool. You know I did that the one time. Mm-hmm. With you, actually, right?
I brought you in, yes, sir.
Yeah, I did. Go down to Hollywood, Florida to do it, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah. Good call. God, that was seriously like 17 years ago.
Oh, my God. Where does the time go? So anyway, they're in there, and basically you know at this point that Chuck is setting some shit up. Like,
right.
Did you get right away that he's basically trying to wait for Jimmy to break in to steal the thing?
I did not know.
Okay, I was instantly... That's what I was thinking, because, and honestly, mainly only because you pointed out last episode that he was probably playing Ernesto.
That seed, yeah.
And since that's, and after you said that, it was so obvious because you smirked afterwards. So it's obvious there's a setup. So whatever is happening here, I figure has got to be targeting Jimmy.
Right.
And what else could it possibly be other than him finding out about the tape from Ernesto and then coming in to steal it, which he doesn't do an undercover of night or anything.
I know my brother.
Bam, bam, bam. that was really funny timing, the way that they set it up.
He's gonna get fucked. I mean,
Jimmy?
Yeah, if nothing, I mean, breaking and entering, like, all these people witnessed, like, 3 fucking crimes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Not good.
Tampering with evidence.
Not good. We see him next week. We see him being processed.
In
we see him in a
jumpsuit.
Orange jumpsuit.
Yeah,
That's bad.
Not good.
That is really bad. So, okay, so it cuts forward to the next scene. We see some people we've never seen before. It's a guy doing crossword puzzles, another dude sleeping in the passenger seat, and then a car pulls up. Who can it be? A fresh El Camino on Kilogy. No. I didn't mean for it to start off like that.
Yes, you did. You have it written down. I see it right there.
I did not write that down. Fuck you. You can't say anything about what anybody writes down after I look at that Diaries of a Madman chicken scratch 7 fucking words that you wrote.
Well, there you
down.
go. You just admitted that you saw my 2 truths. So if you get a point, this is why.
Yeah, I could not read that if I had a fucking translator.
To be fair,
me.
I'm having a hard time putting together these sentences right now. And we had the lights on. I don't know why they look like that. I was in a rush.
I don't know either. But okay, so basically the guy gets out, and he was the one who took Mike's tracker thing, gives it to this other guy, who then becomes kind of like the target of Mike's PI work for the rest of the episode. So he trails this guy all around. The guy pulls something out of like a hole on the side of the road, like on the shoulder of the road, under an overpass.
There are a lot of really far off hiding spaces.
Well, it's obviously like that this kind of plays into Mike.
Breaking Bad, yeah.
Yeah, because he had the stuff hidden all over the place when he takes Jesse for that joyride when Jesse thinks he's going to get off.
Right, it's kind of like on-the-job training.
Kind of, yeah.
He's just kind of foreshadowing his own job.
I wonder if this is the previous iteration of Mike within Gus's empire.
I'm sure.
That's what it seems like,
That's
right?
exactly what it seems like.
Okay, so anyway, he's tailing this dude around. It ends up at Los Pollos Hermanos. I will say I wish when they had shown the outside of the building that they had managed to do it in a way that was less conspicuous, because the reveal of the sign,
yes,
it would have been so much cooler with the music and everything if we hadn't instantly recognized the painting of the
bright
wall.
red shingles.
Yes, and the shingles.
Yes.
I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. Anybody who follows
we were cutting
it,
jokes at it.
Exactly.
Way early on,
like,
and they still play it out.
No way!
They let it run for an extra 30 seconds after that, too.
It was too on the nose, but, I mean, it was still cool. It was still awesome.
Definitely cool. And they did the exact same thing with Gus sweeping in the background as well.
I think that was supposed to be a little bit more of like, I don't think that you're supposed to be like, oh, shit, that was him sweeping in the background?
What's he doing there?
Yeah. I think that was supposed, I mean, that gave me, like, the EBG, like, I was looking over at you, like, already fucking fist pumping like I'm Pauly D over here.
Pauly D, sweet Jersey Shore reference.
I mean, I was really fucking hyped up when I saw that.
Me too, my friend.
There are a lot of mosquitoes in this recording space. I don't know if you're seeing this, but I feel like I'm in a fucking village in Ethiopia. Oh, man.
Did you say you don't know if the listeners were seeing this?
Huh? No, I don't know if you're seeing
I'm
this.
fucking feeling it,
Yeah, no,
dude.
I wonder if the listeners can hear fucking
don't know if you-
Thomas the Choo-Choo engine outside of my fucking
What
house.
a rinky-dink setup we got going.
Oh, man. I'm pretty sure I just swallowed a fly. Okay, so...
Perhaps he'll die.
Cool story, bro. But anyway, then we see Jimmy McGill at his office. It's weird calling him Jimmy McGill. Like, you're so used to calling him Saul, but whatever. It's all interchangeable.
Let's go
at this
Slip and
point.
Jimmy. He doesn't like McGill. Let's just call him
Slip and Jimmy?
Yeah.
All right, so we see Slip and Jimmy at his office. Francesca Lydia walks in. She's the one who ends up becoming the secretary.
She's perfect. He's right.
She is perfect, but I mean, Kim's absolutely right that you
100%.
check a bunch of other resumes. Like, I basically work in the role as a hiring manager at my
Right.
day job, and the thought that somebody walks in, you just offer them the job right there, like, that is
No
somebody who's not
experience,
doing their due diligence.
First one. Well, he just needed somebody to answer phones. That's why I said, how many times do you get hired for a job and start that day?
Yes, I mean, that is what he needs, but she needs somebody who can be very meticulous
True.
in going through paperwork. And she actually says something to the effect of needing a paralegal, which this lady, I don't think, has paralegal experience
No, not
working
at all.
at
She
the
worked
MVD.
at the DMV, MVD
That was
shit.
that sounds like a true
It's definitely
story.
true. With Google, they're not going to slip something in there and think they're going to get it past listeners.
Yeah,
No fucking chance.
That was interesting, though. I'd never heard it. Well, isn't that it? It's mildly interesting, I guess would be the way to put it. It's not like, oh my God, I got to go right on Facebook.
Guess what, guys?
MVD. MVD.
What I did think was interesting was when he was asking her if everything looks straight and this and that, and she's like, "Well, the M seems a little crooked," and he's like, "A little crooked, And I thought, that's poignant because it plays.
He's a little crooked?
Yeah, the M, which
Yeah.
is him, is a little crooked. And she's
Definitely.
straight on the money.
Yeah, for sure. I
like
think that was exactly what they were saying. With that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even think it was supposed to be like a sneaky little, especially because his reaction
There's
was
a
a little.
lot of not smart people around, so
I guess, well, that's fucking rude. I guarantee you there are listeners who just didn't catch it. Just like I didn't catch the Ernesto thing till you pointed it out. And I bet a lot of people were like, that is so obvious. But there are a lot of not smart people around.
Are you kidding me? Do you remember all the podcasts and all the shit that I didn't get? I didn't know that the Cinnabon came after.
Oh my God,
I have
that's
no
true.
stones to cast.
Yeah, that's true. Glass houses or moving blankets as our recording setup. God, it is hot in this utility room. Okay, so we see Francesca talking to old people on the phone, and Jimmy's like, a little more folksy, a little more
I
folksy.
love that whole scene.
Yeah, and she's
so
like,
good.
oh, well, it sure is a hot one out there today. And he's like,
Sure
mention
got a
Cracker
pretty
Barrel.
mouth.
She's like, how about those biscuits at Cracker Barrel? I just dream of going on up there. And then
perfect.
I love when so she switches then to the next call, and she's like, something about Cracker Barrel, and she looks at Jimmy, she's like, I don't think this guy wants to talk about Cracker Barrel. It's fucking Mike on the phone.
Oh god.
And it's
that
just
whole
funny because he
thing.
is an old person. He is an old
Yeah,
geezer.
he sounds like a geezer.
Yeah. So that, I mean, we were cracking up about
Yeah,
that
that
part.
was
And especially,
really
like,
funny.
she was selling it really good. And then I love Mike's first thing he tells Jimmy, like, your assistant's a real pip.
Real pip. He talks like that. Oh, I love Mike.
Yeah, so he asks Jimmy to meet for breakfast the next day. I don't know how you feel, but I know that you have a song that you're doing this week.
About Mike?
Yeah, I want to go ahead and get into this now, I feel like is a good time. Mainly because I haven't actually listened to it yet.
And it's what the listeners want.
It's what the listeners need. So anyway, let's kick it over to the segment that has basically given birth, that is the genesis of all this musical interlude that is the Boob Tube Buddies podcast. It's a little segment we like to call Jib Jab with Jables.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jib Jab with Jables.
Well, this week I decided to step outside my comfort zone and do a song.
Oh yeah, I never heard that before.
But since I got blasted in the ass so hard last week about doing some unknown Shawn Mendes, even though he's the hottest fucking guy around right now.
The hottest
like-
fucking guy around.
Not like sexually attractive, I mean, like on fire, he's fucking popular. He's the hippest guy.
You are way overcompensating,
You're
buddy.
a homophobe.
You're a homophobe.
Don't tell Jerry.
Yeah. Cool inside reference.
Our Xbox friends.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Anyway,
tell your story.
So I did a much more relatable artist to all of our group of listeners that you think is our demographic.
Okay.
Which is the Backstreet Boys.
Naturally. Okay.
Naturally, another manly. And of course, I did an homage to my favorite character, Mike.
Perfect. Okay, let's fire that off then.
To go Salamanca, you know your bunkers. I need you to be gone, but I can't get the job done. Now I have assholes tracking my gas hole. It's the path I chose. I need more pistachio. I am my mild-mannered old grandpa. I am mine just a cover. He is much more. Enemies have no idea what's in store when Mike comes to their door. I was retired, now I'm for hire. I do it for the thrill, but I want you to kill. I am Mike, former assassin and spook. I am Mike. He used to fight crime nail and tooth, and that's the truth. He was a top dog in his youth. Now he works a toll booth. Now you can see that he's got a big heart by the way he cares for family. Yeah, no matter how big the bad guy, he'll tear them apart, ensuring his granddaughter's safety. Mike is a badass, so raise your gin glass to Mike. To Mike. I wanna be like my old grandpa. It's just a cover. He is much more. I wanna be like me. Have no idea what's in store. Oh my! When Mike comes to their door, to be like former assassin and speak like Mike. He used to fight crime, nail and tooth. That's the truth. The top dog in his youth, but now he runs a toll booth. Be like my mannered old grandpa. He's just a cover. He is much more. Enemies have no idea what's in store when Mike comes to their door. Don't let Mike come to your door.
Jib Jab.
All right, we are back. Nice job, buddy. That is
Thanks,
really
man.
good.
Worked really hard for my best friend.
I see you over there smirking. Are you laughing because I started off with
Whistling all right again, yes.
What a fucking, I'm probably going to have edited it out.
I know,
Oh, wait,
so
the
we-
Mothman's doing this one.
Oh, you're gonna hear all the all rights.
All right,
That's
yeah,
not
because
all
normally
right.
I edit it, and it's every single time we segue back in, it's all right.
All right.
Fucking cheesy radio host.
He's gonna leave all that shit in there.
Oh,
You're gonna sound
no.
ridiculous.
Oh no! I'm gonna at least take it out of the interview later. Nice, good thinking.
All right, yeah, knock off one.
Maybe I'll put in like a okay.
Nice curveball.
Okay, so let's get into the to one of the better scenes, which is Jimmy or Slippin' Jimmy inside of the Los Pollos Hermanos because Mike asked him to go in there. So he goes in, he orders the food. He sits down, he's looking around, like waiting to see what's going to happen. We see lots of shots of different people, and And then finally the guy pulls up in his green SUV truck thing, walks in, orders, sits down, and Jimmy is trying to be inconspicuous. I love that he kind of like leans up against the soda machine and, and sprays soda all over his hand.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
First off, who the fuck has a Velcro wallet? Especially a lawyer. What lawyer has a Velcro?
I didn't notice. That's pretty funny.
I only noticed because the closed captioning Velcros. You know, and then I listened for it to, you know, when he closed, because he had to open it back up to put change in. Sure enough,
that's
I haven't had a
really
Velcro wallet
funny.
since I was like 5 years old. It was pretty good.
That is really
What's
funny.
your take on what happened with the, I don't know what they kept calling it, a knapsack or whatever, but the backpack?
Okay, like how did they get anything done
Yeah, like
right
what,
there?
yeah, like what was accomplished or what transpired?
I think that they were on to Jimmy or on to something happening there, and I think him going by and not stopping at the guy to say, "Hi, how was your meal today?" or something along those lines was the thing to like, so that the guy knows, don't fucking look at him, don't act suspicious, you just get up, take your shit, and you leave.
So proud of my little buddy. That's exactly what I thought. I thought because it was the most fucking buffoonery recon by Slippin' Jimmy. I don't know why Mike would have called him to do that job anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Gus saw that there was something fucked up with this guy and didn't go through with it.
Yeah, I should have that fucking music. The yeah, and I fucking love when Jimmy dives headfirst into the trash.
He's like stuck in it. The fuck is
So
he doing?
bad. And I did like that he was at least slick enough to let his watch fall off into there.
Otherwise, what would he have said? Oh,
I don't know. That was a really good last second thing. So then Gus, I just, oh God, I fucking love Gus. And I noticed a couple little things at the restaurant. Like, for example, how the cashier instantly after Jimmy's leaned on the counter, she like wipes it up after he walks off. You know that an establishment that Gus is running, like the workers have to be fastidious in how they're cleaning up after themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
he's
100%,
that type.
Yes.
So, I just love the whole thing's run like that. Like, there are no fast food places near me that operate at that level of... And I feel like Los Pollos Hermanos is kind of supposed to be like a Bojangles, sort of, maybe?
I see that.
In that it's kind of regional and...
I don't think it'd be that packed at 6 a.m, though. There was a shitload of customers there.
Is it? How do you know it's 6 a.m?
It's what his watch said.
Jimmy's watch? Or are you talking about when Mike looked at it the day before and it said 7:30?
No.
I think that's what you're thinking.
No. I got that from the sign. It opens at 6.
Okay, gotcha. So it's not necessarily 6. It could be 8. It could be 8:30. Either way, it's breakfast time. So, are you retracting that?
No,
do you want to apologize to the listeners?
I'll retract it only because I can't think of the tidbit of information that tipped me off.
All right. On behalf of the person who's joining me today, I'm the host, Foxman. Jables.
On behalf of our guest.
On our guest. He's very sorry for feeding misinformation, alternative facts.
God damn it.
Sorry, buddy. So anyway, Saul ends up leaving there. His first interaction with Gus, which was fucking exciting. It just, for anybody who loves Breaking Bad, it's just cool to have him back on the show.
I want to go back and watch the series again now.
I mean, I just, like, even just the Los Pollos Hermanos thing is amazing. Like, my coffee mug at work is a Los Pollos Hermanos
that's pretty
coffee mug.
badass.
And it's not like one of those cheapo made ones where it's just, like, clearly just, like, a heat press sort of shitty print thing on there. It's, like, actually made for... Oh.
Didn't you used to do heat press shitty things?
I used to do heat press shitty things. That's why I feel, like, qualified to
You're
mention
able
that.
to make fun of it?
Always very entrepreneurial in spirit, don't you think?
Yes.
And always with the shitty quality. Oh, snap. Okay, so after that, we have Jimmy goes outside and tells Mike everything that happened, all the tiny details. I mean, and he clearly had been paying attention. Like, he knew that he ordered the number 2. And,
what pocket he put his money in.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I love that Mike afterwards, when he opens the door for Jimmy, like he's done talking to him. And then what is it that he says? He says something to the effect of like, hey, who's got your back?
I love that. Yes, he pops back in the window.
Yeah, and what
No
is
need for it. I do. I got your back. He's like, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I like he talks like Eeyore.
Or Brandon Griffith.
Oh yeah, another cool inside reference.
Jesus.
Man, I like thinking about the person who's sitting in like Cambodia listening to this, or like
Who's Jerry? It's Cambodian accent.
Oh man, you're a fucking
We
chud.
just lost our Cambodian audience.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what does end up happening next. Is this when he goes back to oh no, this is when Ernesto pulls up to the office outside.
Gus's son?
Yeah, sure. You were dead set on that. Like, you actually really think that he is Gus's son.
I think it'd be a nice little tie-in.
Why? Because he looks like him?
Don't be like that.
I know that's what you're thinking.
Whatever. I've already offended enough Cambodians.
I don't know why that... whatever, fuck it, leave it. So he has Kim come outside because he's too nervous to come inside. He's so scared about... Like, because Chuck has gotten in his head about, you work for HHM and you are bound for confidentiality rules and stuff like that. So he's like way in Ernesto's head.
Yeah.
So he has Kim come out. He lets him know about the recording. So she goes back in. She tells Chuck about it. And he's pretty fucking level-headed. He does seem kind of defeated.
He looked really despondent. I mean, he looked like he was trying to
That's the word I wrote down, despondent.
Nice.
Yeah.
He looked like he was just trying to put on a brave face, but he was really cut to the core. I
Yeah,
think.
for sure. And
you can tell because of how he acts when he goes over to his house.
She is so goddamn supportive and awesome and badass in this episode.
Perfect. She's so perfect for him.
She is. Well, to be fair, he's not perfect for her, but she's perfect for him.
Yes, he needs her. She needs to stay the fuck away from him.
Absolutely, yes. Because it's like the old first off, the crooked sign out front that also looks like a crashing stock market.
I love that. There's so many one-liners. They're so great.
There was. That one I thought was hilarious. Like, you don't think it looks too much like a crashing stock market, do you?
And I didn't think about it before, but then
no,
oh shit,
it just
really
fucking like
does.
it. Yes. So funny. So anyway, he finishes up with all the people for the day, and that's when he goes, basically, that's right, because he's pulling the tape off there and he's kneading it, with his fingers.
Chuck.
Exactly like when he was pulling all the tinfoil off the wall last episode. And then he just rips it down, goes running outside, and oh shit, he's about to do exactly like this. The trap's about to be sprung.
Yes.
Okay, actually, I think now would be a good time to throw over to Two Truths and One Big Little Lie.
I thought we were doing the interview first.
No, we'll do the interview at the end.
Yeah, fuck that.
Okay. Two Truths and One Big Little Lie. We'll be right back.
Are we gonna do an Audible ad after that?
Well, we'll get into all that. Let's just do our little Two Truths and One Big Little Lie. Why are you trying to jump the gun?
Because we have the
I know you're trying to remind me of the other thing. I get it.
There's only 2 more breaks, and we were gonna split them up.
Here's what's gonna happen. I didn't want to have to spell it out for the listeners, but I gotta spell it out for my guest here.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, so we're about to do Two Truths and One Big Little Lie. After that segment is ended, we will do an Audible ad. After that Audible ad is ended, we have a special treat that I'm gonna tell you guys right after this.
Let's play a game called
Two Truths and One Big
Little Lie.
All right.
Nice job.
I thought I'd make it a really Mike-heavy episode. I went ahead and did mine on Jonathan Banks, who plays Mike.
Nice, okay.
Ready for it?
Yeah,
and just to point out...
If I recall, I'm winning right now.
You're so far off. No. I'm
losing.
definitely the reigning champ.
Jables is winning right now after I fucking slaughtered him in The Walking Dead. No, he knows. Everybody knows. We all know. But that doesn't matter because we are in Better Call Saul now, and I am losing. I'm down 0-1.
You bring something up and then say that it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah. It doesn't matter that I destroyed you in it. Just like it doesn't matter that Trump won the election by a historic landslide.
You've been watching too many politics.
Yeah, and that he had the largest inauguration crowd in history, but it doesn't matter anymore. So it
doesn't matter.
So why even bring it up? You brought it up. I don't know why you brought it up.
Your alternative facts are coming to bite you. All right. Truth 1. He's a survivor of testicular cancer.
Okay.
Truth 2. His mom was in the CIA.
Okay.
Truth 3. His career started in an educational menstruation video.
That last one sounds too weird not to be true. The second one, you looked at me in the middle like you were really trying to sell it.
This guy
And
trying to
the first one sounds like a real thing. And plus, you wouldn't be such a monster that you'd make some lie or joke out of testicular cancer.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like me.
I'm going for the second one's false.
The second one is true.
God damn it.
I'm a monster. He didn't have testicular cancer. That was Lance
He's
Armstrong.
A monster.
Why are we changing our hand?
I don't know.
I wish there was a video for that to see. These
Both of our
sweaty fucking
hands,
guys.
sweat flying in every direction. Okay, so he, what, did he have any type of cancer?
No, I just pulled that out of thin air.
Jesus
'Cause he's
Christ,
bald.
you fucking monster. Because he's bald.
I feel like I can do that because I'm bald.
You're bald. Okay, I get that. All right. Okay, that's a really good one. You
Thanks,
absolutely got me on that one.
Hooray.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. So, all right. I did mine on Vince Gilligan, the creator of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Oh, and the first mate to the skipper.
Oh, fuck you. God.
That was one I written down.
Okay. Truth 1. He played Tim Allen's daughter in the Santa Claus movies.
Holy shit. That was a good one.
Okay. That, for the record, for anybody just tuning in, that's the stupid, shitty one I did for Kim Wexler last week that fooled nobody. So, okay. Vince Gilligan. Truth 1. Vince Gilligan had a small acting role on the NBC show Community. Truth 2. According to TheRichest.com, Vince has a net worth of roughly $65 million. Truth 3. Vince Gilligan wrote the 2008 film Hancock starring Will Smith.
Okay. I want to preface this by saying that if it's something like 67 million or 70 million, I'm going to call shenanigans because we've discussed how we're not going to try to trick the other person.
Okay,
but,
well, hey, you sound like very accusatory as you're saying this. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. I get what you're saying because we're trying not to be persnickety about it
exactly.
anymore.
We're
Okay,
just
I'm
trying
with
to
you.
have a nice, lighthearted, fun time.
Now, I'm not saying that I didn't do what you're accusing me of. I'm just saying, don't accuse me of it until you know.
What was the first one again?
Absolutely. Truth 1. Vince Gilligan had a small acting role in the NBC show Community. Truth 2. According to TheRichest.com, Vince has a net worth of roughly $65 million. And Truth 3. Gilligan wrote the 2008 film Hancock starring Will Smith.
I'm going to say 1
Is
the lie.
That is not correct.
Fucker, is it 3?
It is 2. But it's 25 million, which is a third almost of the amount that I put down.
That's
a
surprisingly
huge chunk.
low.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you that just because that's okay.
Okay,
I
honestly,
don't feel bad about that
when I
at
first
all.
wrote it, I put 35 million.
Oh, I would've been fucking
And then I
pissed.
thought, you know what? No, this is exactly what we talked about.
There you go.
But when I wrote 35 million, I was thinking like, come on, you're down 1-0. Like, you gotta do
it.
something.
You got the devil sitting over there and the angel on the
Exactly.
other side.
Okay, so nothing's changed. I'm still 1 down. Correct?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sweet. I thought we just evened up. Oh,
No.
fucking awesome.
No, yep, you're still
Oh,
ahead.
so sweet.
You're
All right.
crushing me in this one.
King Jables.
King Jables.
Why don't I be Lord Jables, my fucking God damn it.
Okay, so we're going to throw over to an Audible ad, and then following that, we have a new little, it's not much of a segment, but basically just to preface it, I went online to find other hilariously bad lawyer ads, and just like Saul does his, and there are surprisingly a lot of them. So I'm gonna play one on every episode from now on because they're fucking hilarious. They're like 30 seconds long, but anyway, that's what's coming up. We will see you guys right after the break.
And one big
Little lie.
www.audibletrial.com/Boob Tube Buddies.
Get it, got it good.
Hello. Robo Foxman here to tell you about Audible.com. I accessed Audible's internal servers to teach myself about your species. I learned to laugh. I learned to love. And now I'm going to
Terminate you all.
You too can access this great wealth of information for free. By doing so, you also support the hilarious podcast, Boob Tube Buddies. That human, Foxman, is especially funny. Ha.
Ha.
Go to www.audibletrial.com/BoobTubeBuddies to get your free month trial. The best way to predict the future is to invent it.
Little buddies.
Choose Hamilton Law and bring home the bacon.
Cut! We need more ham.
Choose Hamilton Law.
Bacon, baby, bacon.
Really? Bacon?
Bring home the bacon.
I think I'm going to do it my way. I'll tell people at Hamilton Law, if you're facing financial difficulties or have been injured, come see us for a free consultation. We're here to help.
That was terrible.
Choose Hamilton Law and bring home the bacon!
We are back. Oh man, I was so close to saying all
had
right.
a deep breath for it and everything.
Oh man, okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's get back into it. We're almost at the end of the episode. We have Mike, who continues following the tracker. It goes out to the middle of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, fuck.
Well, I might point out that for him being so super stealthy and stuff,
Yeah.
there were a couple of times where I was just like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, in the very beginning, when he got out of the car, he leaves his headlights on.
Yeah.
He had no idea he was below him on the bridge. He was
Definitely.
looking for him, and his fucking headlights are on in the middle
Really
of the night.
sloppy. Another thing, when he's checking the tracker, when he first sees the two guys in the car
The
and the
glow?
one guy pull up, yeah, just the
Yes.
glow of it. I mean, if you're in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden you see like what amounts to like a cell phone screen
Yes.
lighting up, that would catch
That's
your.
super fucking noticeable.
God
yeah.
damn, absolutely.
Yeah, so I didn't like that, especially with all of his past skills and everything.
I
but-
totally agree. There are certain shows like Dexter is the fucking worst. Whenever Dexter tails somebody, did you ever watch
yes,
Dexter?
I love Dexter.
Whenever he tails somebody, he's like basically riding their ass. It's so bad. And then like instead of parking down the street, it's like he basically like parallel parks
Yeah.
behind them, like 7-point turn, like struggling to get into the spot as they're like looking back at him like, what's this fucking dude doing? Why is he wearing gloves?
What's that needle doing? Ow!
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, the cell phone's there on the ground on top of the gas can. You see the look on his face like oh fuck.
He knew he'd been got.
Yeah, and what is he? He's just like, yeah.
Yeah,
When
that's
he
how he
picks up
always
the
answers
phone.
the phone.
Exactly. So, okay, then
Your take on who's on the phone?
I was
Gotta be.
well, it might not necessarily be Gus, but I think it's either Gus or one of Gus's agents. Is that not what you thought?
I thought it was just straight Gus.
Okay, it could possibly be. I was thinking either the guy he was tailing, or maybe even the guy who becomes his assistant later, who we
True.
saw in the black SUV. So, but either way, it's Gus or an agent.
That's
of
true,
Gus.
because Gus probably wouldn't be so forthcoming to revealing himself.
Exactly, because we know that he insulates himself.
But I'm sure what they've got going on is this is where they're noticing how fucking skilled this guy is and probably trying to recruit him at this point.
Totally. I mean, because this would be really impressive.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Like the way
to
that
switch
he's-
that fucking thing out.
To
and
even
nobody-
find it in the first place
exactly
is a fucking miracle.
and then everything else that came after that.
Agreed. Okay, so let's get down to the big finale scene here, which is first it starts off with Howard. We don't know where he's parking and why he's running like a fucking.
Oh my God.
What is that?
That's the definition of prancing, is what he was
He
doing.
was 100%
He had
prancing.
his
There's no
hands
other word
flared up
for
in the
it.
air, just being so dainty.
It was like if you put like fairy wings on the back of him and put a tutu around him, it would be like he was in like an elementary school play, like Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yes, exactly. And here's the thing: he came over, and when he got inside, he's like, "All right, Chuck, this is enough. I've been doing this," just alluding to the fact that he's had to do this multiple times already.
Yes, this is 8 days in.
So why is he so confused as to how to get over those fences? He's hurdled the same fences 8 days now. Now he's like, "Oh shit, how am I going to go over this one? Maybe I'll check the swing set
I see,
to get
yeah.
over." And whoa, I mean, he's done it 8
To be
fucking
fair,
times.
maybe he had not come over there every single day. He knows that this is what it's costing because HHM is springing for the whole thing. So maybe he hasn't gone over there.
And why couldn't he park outside his house?
Because he doesn't want, if Jimmy were to come by, he doesn't want him to see a car he recognizes outside, like Howard's car.
Right, but if he was outside, he obviously just wouldn't break in right then. So,
But that's the thing, he wants Jimmy, the moment that he finds out, to come over flying in a rage, throw caution to the wind.
No, but he thought he was going to do it at night.
He did, but
in case?
Just in case, I guess.
All right.
I see that. Like, we're talking about how Mike was not careful enough in the other things. Chuck is, I used this word earlier, fastidious. Like, he adheres to the little dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Meticulous to a fault.
Exactly. So that honestly did ring true to me. But then he's like, I know my brother. And then we're coming back full circle because we talked about this in the beginning. But that's when Jimmy kicks the fucking door in like a fucking superhero or a criminal. And comes in and he's screaming all sorts of things like, what does he say? Like, I can't believe, what's his ex-wife's name?
I can't remember now.
Not Dolores, Kathy.
It's some old-timey name.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't believe that she didn't leave you already. And, it's just like, oh, Rebecca. That's what it was.
That's not old-timey.
Not at all. Shit. Fuck. God damn it. But, I mean, he's just shuffling through everything like, I can't believe you destroy our fucking family over this.
Yeah.
And I mean, really digging into him. And finally, he gets the thing out. He starts breaking it apart. Do you have copies? You better tell me I'll burn this fucking place to the ground.
Yeah,
like,
so many crimes.
A lot of bad stuff. And then all of a sudden, that's when Howard and David, the PI, round the corner, and Chuck basically asks him, like, were you witness to this? They both say yes. And that's when Jimmy just bows in his head. Like, he recognizes.
I hate how fucking much of a cretin Chuck is. Like, he sees how his brother's fucking melting down from, and what's he got to gain? I mean, nothing. Just to stop him from getting away with shit.
Yeah, but also Jimmy, like, fucked over his reputation royally right here. And that's the thing. He's always worried that Jimmy's going to sully his pristine legal reputation with all of his fucking Slippin' Jimmy antics. And now he's actually gone and done something that besmirched his name irreparably in some circles.
Yeah, that's true.
Really badly. So for him, this is like the name and the reputation that he spent his whole life building up this career, and Slippin' Jimmy's always fucking skirting the rules, and now he's gone out and deliberately done something to tarnish this sterling
really
reputation.
Destroy. I mean, they got handed to him in court.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I just hate that Jimmy has that fucking soft spot for Chuck. Like, it drives me fucking crazy. I wish he would have just let him think the guy was fucking losing it even more until he had a nervous breakdown, hopefully killed himself. I mean, I hate Chuck with a fiery passion.
I get what you're saying, but I mean, like, imagine if this is Rob Job or something like that. Like, you go over and tickle his fucking balls if he did this to you. Like, you, you wouldn't say, "I'll burn this place to the ground."
No, I mean, no, me and Rob Job are different because, you know, we're close. It's a bit weird. I mean, I get it, but there's a point. Like, you know, obviously for Chuck, Jimmy's crossed that line because he's choosing his name and reputation over the well-being of his brother. Clearly.
Yeah, but I mean, Chuck has always been like that. And
but not to this extreme.
To the point where he's trying to keep Jimmy from getting a job as a lawyer at HHM.
Yeah, but I can understand his reasoning for that as well.
I understand his reasoning for all of it. I just think that he's also starting to break bad, but in a different way. More like a moral sense as opposed to like a legal sense, how it normally comes
that's why I don't like him.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I hate morals.
Yeah, sure. But, okay, anyway, that is pretty much the episode. Like we talked about in the beginning, we see the scenes of him for next week. Orange jumper, the whole fucking 9 yards, and it does not look like it's going to go. It looks like the pace is going to become a little bit more hurried.
Yes, definitely.
After this.
Which I'm excited about because that first one was getting me nervous.
The first one was a little too slow. This one,
the first
I thought
half of this was still making me a little nervous.
Yes, but it was still handing you some sweet little goodies.
Yeah, it was throwing little tidbits at us.
Agreed. So let's throw over. I have an interview with Dane from the Better Call Saul subreddit. Let's throw it over to him, and then we'll come back. We'll wrap things up. But Dane has some really, really good points. He's another one of those guys who clearly has watched Breaking Bad and
time again.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. So somebody to school us up a little bit. So anyway, let's throw it over. We'll be right back.
Player 3 has entered the game.
Tonight, I am joined by Dane from the Better Call Saul subreddit. What's going on, Dane?
Not too much. What's going on with you?
Not a whole lot. I have to say I was really worried looking at your name as I was just about to read it off. I was like, don't say Dave, don't say Dave, don't say Dave. Nailed it.
You wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe. People hear all sorts of things when I say my name, and I don't know why.
Did you watch the first episode of Better Call Saul?
Of course. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I feel like I'm not in the minority, but I really love the pace of the show. I really love the style and the mood. I'm completely sold on it. So to me, it delivered everything that I wanted personally. It had the Vince Gilligan thing where it picked up exactly where it left off. Completely addressed I've always loved in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul the ability to, you spend all these months, you talk about it, you think about it, and then right out of the gate, all of the characters address exactly what you were thinking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's the way they break it down in the writer's room there. They talk everything over and really go through with it, so that way when, it goes in immediately, Chuck's talking to Hamlin and he's like, well, here's this about the tape, and Jimmy does exactly what you would think he would do. Everybody's moves are kind of really organic to what they do.
First off, let me say my co-host and I are both like Neanderthal doo-doo dunderheads, so because there were no explosions and machine gun fires and stuff like that,
right.
And it was more of like a slow burn noir type feel,
yeah.
Both of us were like, it was... I mean, we love the show. We both love the show and the Breaking Bad universe.
But it can be really slow, of course.
It was, and honestly, for a first episode, I do like to see a little bit more pace. It doesn't have to be action necessarily, just a little bit more drama in a first episode. It would be.
Oh, come on! You watched
complaint.
through all Breaking Bad. That's like what Vince Gilligan does. The first episode's like almost nothing. There's like the first episode of, I think, yeah, like almost every season of Breaking Bad is like so slow. Like they usually introduce one big thing like right at the end to get you going, which I guess they didn't do.
I think I can perfectly sum up the difference between you and I in a single episode. How do you feel about the Fly episode?
The Fly episode, yeah,
Bad?
that's one of my favorite episodes.
It's my least favorite.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it just depends. Like it just depends what you want out of it. And here's the thing: is I liked Breaking Bad's explosions, and I like that because it was that kind of show. It was like Walt makes that first mistake, and then it's just being one step ahead of it over and over. It's a very frantic show, so I can see why not liking the slow stuff as much. But like Better Call Saul is like, it takes place in offices and like it's about paper. I mean, it's a lot slower, and I like that.
Well, you had said it depends what you want out of it. Let me ask you, what do you want out of this third season of Better Call Saul? Like, what are you hoping to see?
Well, what I'd really like to see is Chuck and Jimmy in a courtroom. I really, I knew they wouldn't do it, but I was hoping just the first episode would be something with the tape and they just be in court all season. I mean, I guess there's still time. I'm really hoping to see, they have those two different styles of law. Chuck comes at him, you're not a real lawyer, this and that. And so I'm really hoping that those two ideologies kind of get to square off against each other in the court of law. I think would be really interesting.
Yeah, because Chuck is kind of like the dot the I's and cross the T's and like the meticulous sort of lawyer, whereas you have like the braggadocious, flashy, super litigious, in your face Saul/Jimmy. That would be awesome, like Fire and Ice kind of thing to see.
Yeah, though what I think they're going for, I mean, it may turn into that. What I think they're going for is, I mean, right now it seems like it's sort of doing a reversal where Chuck's, showing that he's a pretty good con man himself, and that the only person who could really con the greatest con man of them all is Chuck.
Sure.
Yeah, so it seems like it's kind of going around like Chuck's got this like long game in play. And
Speaking of which, the thing with Ernesto, you think that he is setting that up, like he's actually about to play Ernesto off Jimmy?
Oh, totally. Because he says to Howard, he goes, Howard goes over, you can't play it in court, you can't play it for, this or that, there's no use for it, and who could you possibly play it for? And Chuck says, I think I know one person or something like that. And then after Ernesto hears that tape, Chuck seems really happy.
Yeah, he smirks.
Yeah, so I think they're going for Chuck is becoming a little bit of a con man himself. He's playing this long con. I think I don't like to guess what Vince Gilligan's gonna do because I've almost always been wrong, which is surprising to me because I'm a writer and things like that. And part of the reason I love both these shows is I've seen kind of every kind of story, and there's different variants on that. But
Sure.
you eventually know how stories work. And with Breaking Bad and now Better Call Saul, it's like I'm still always surprised, which is rare for me. But what
based off what you've seen in the trailer and in episode 1, I mean, where do you think the story is heading? Because you said you hope to see them in a courtroom together, but based off what we know now, the needle is pointing in one way. What do you think? Where is it heading?
Well, I think Chuck's going to. I mean, again, I was just saying I don't want to guess what Vince Gilligan's gonna do, but I think Chuck's gonna try to. He's obviously trying to lure Jimmy into a trap, and my idea is that he would. Jimmy knows about the tape, and Jimmy would try to break in and steal it, and Chuck would get him on breaking and entering or something, and then that evidence would have to be played in a courtroom, the evidence of what's on the tape. And that wouldn't be legal in terms of the Mesa Verde verdict, but it may be very damaging to his character in terms of some sort of breaking, entering, and theft.
Yeah, and getting him disbarred as well.
Yeah. So I think what Chuck's going for is I think Chuck wants everybody in the world to know exactly who his brother is. Like I think that's his thing. I think it has nothing to do with the law or legal or even getting him disbarred. I think he just wants to have everybody in the world know like who Jimmy is.
Before we go, I wanted to give you a chance. I know that you said you're in a band, so we normally have people plug in like their podcast or their YouTube channel, but where can people find your music? What's the name of your band again?
Yeah, the name of the band I'm in is Soft Girl, and you can find us at softgirlkmp.bandcamp.com, or if you look up Moonrock Records on YouTube, we have some videos, we have things like that, things I've directed. Yeah, check us out. It's good,
and
good stuff.
What's the Bandcamp one again?
softgirlkmp.bandcamp.com.
Okay, Dane, it was an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you again.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Player 3 has left the game.
All right, thank you very much to
You had to slip one more in.
Yeah, you know it, dude. I was just
damn.
like, I was feeling like anxious without it. It's like
Is it a tick?
I'm like Chuck, yeah. Like I don't need to go turn the fucking door handle before we come in every time. I do need to say, oh, all right.
Otherwise, it can go off the rails.
When we first started doing the podcast about 10 months ago, I would listen back intently to every episode and I'd be like, do I really say exactly that much? I mean, I said exactly like every sixth fucking word. Like most people say, I say exactly. It's fucking terrible. Like an ultimate yes man phrase. And I'm just saying it over and over again.
I agree.
Indubitably.
Thanks, Dane, by the way. That was pretty fucking informative.
Thank you. Yes, it absolutely was. Thank you so much, Dane, for coming on. I dropped I will put the link to his band. I will put that in the show notes, so if you're interested, check that out. He's a great guy, so I would recommend that you do.
I hate that I don't get to pimp out my karaoke name.
Why don't you pimp out your karaoke name? You put all this fucking effort into the songs. Why don't you pimp out your karaoke name?
I don't remember what it is.
What?
What is it?
I have no fucking idea.
Laura Jables. Oh, fuck it. We'll do it next time.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for making me stop to do that.
That's why I don't get a plug.
That's why you don't get a plug.
Shit about myself.
Stupid guest. So anyway, we talked about what we thought about the episode already. So I think that we can go ahead and wrap it up. Again, tune into Fargo later this week. If you are watching Fargo, if you're not, you're missing out. I know you have not watched it, Jables. It is one of the best shows on television. That season 2 is about as close to a perfect episode of any season of any show that I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's saying a lot.
It's
dude.
really goddamn good.
You're saying it beats Big Brother season 16? Because Mandy and Tessa. Whew.
Oh my god, you and your Big Brothers, your Big Brother After Darks, your Big Brother UK is like.
Maybe I'm so obsessed with that show because of Rob Job.
What, he watches Big Brother?
No, he is my big brother.
Oh my god, cool. Oh, Jesus. Okay, anyway, we're going off the rails here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please tell somebody about the show. Drop a link on your Twitter, your Facebook, or leave a 5-star review. There's a million ways that you can help out that don't involve going to our Patreon page or something like that.
I knew you were going to sneak that in there.
you know I got to. Very, very sneaky. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Jables, why don't you tie a bow on this bitch?
See you next time.
I kind of already did it,
Fucking
didn't I?
stepped on my Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.